Welcome to my chess stream on lichess and Twitch today. International Master Will Paschall. We're here with the Ponda, and hopefully you can see us. Hello. Today's stream is a 5+3 fast blitz stream. We're going to be doing casual challenges for everybody. So, good luck, guys, and don't forget to play h4. All right, Mr. Ponda, you can take a rest. That was very stressful. Mr. Ponda, Acerbate, Sumoni, Baleful's challenging me. Actually, Soltigo was challenging me, so he must be here. Good to see you, Mr. Soltigo. I know you offered to help me with the with setting up new stuff for the stream, but I've been really busy with lessons the last day. Actually, Thursdays and Fridays are pretty busy days for me. So we got challenges from Soltigo, Baleful, and Niels. We lost Niels. Or Niels. I gotta wake up a second before I start this game with Soltigo. He warned me that he's playing really well tonight. So, JCS, what's up? Got my coffee. I'm good to go. Nils is back. How's your internet? Are you bouncing in and out there, Nils? You challenged, then you unchallenged, then you challenged again. Was it a different challenge, or you just got some lag going on or something? All right. We're gonna start with Soltigo. We're gonna go Baleful, Nils. Arsenal is best. Arsenal number 2. I don't feel fully awake, but here we go. All right. I've been awake for like an hour, but that doesn't mean I feel like it. Tied for first the last 10+0 arena, but got second. Yeah. The tie breaks in the arena tournaments, I have no idea how they work. Alright. Soltigo. Here we go. Let's get it started. I'm an analysis board here, but whatever. We're just gonna accept this challenge. Alright, 5+3. I gotta move fast. Gotta move fast. It's blitz. I'm a little lazy since I got this increment thing going on. 2 years ago, I started playing really, so I could do the stream, because typically I never really played bullet with blitz with increment. Even back in the days when I did play bullet, it was only 2-0, and I would never use increment. Just decided to play the Pierce there. Because, or modern defense, because maybe Soltigo doesn't see that as often. Ooh, that's a weird move. Okay, G3 with a knight out on F3. Kind of funkadelic. We just focus on the dark squares. That's a good move, sir. Embedded my knight in there. You need more than 9 blunders to get me. You might get a draw that way. Mr. Soltigo sacrificing a pawn here. Bishop's a bit funny. H5 is interesting. Alright. Let's take a little bit of time. I mean, knight c5, b4, obviously. So I thought about a5. Obviously, f5 could be strong. I mean, maybe f5 is just simply strong. It's a little reckless. I mean, I'll have a pawn here, I don't feel like really taking any crazy risks. Alright, whatever. We gotta do something. Is my bishop trapped? G4? He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do a thing like that. I mean, G4, Queen H4 with the idea of knight F6 looks pretty problematic for white. It might just be downright suicide. Let's see, he has like G4, Queen H4, G5, then F5. This can't be good for white. Oh my god. That move was completely not on my horizon. Wow. Oh my god. It never even occurred to me. He said he's been playing pretty well tonight. I've never seen a bishop get trapped like that before. You gotta be freaking kidding me. He like even predicted his own win before the game even started. That's crazy. Soltigo actually predicted his own victory before the game even started. I almost played h5. That would have only lost the pawn back. I've literally never seen this happen. Such a strange theme. So I've got 2 pawns for a piece here. This is pretty bad. It might be enough to keep it a little bit murky for a while, but objectively I'm lost. Just hope to create some complications. Man, that is the strangest theme. I've never seen a king h2 trap. Okay. It's also extremely fast. Playing like a positional god. Not only like seeing the tactic, but strategically, white is a big advantage. Alright, well, hopefully we'll put some pressure on him somehow. On the f-file. The problem is my bishop on g7 is really bad. I should try to be a little more optimistic. I guess we'll have to play h5. It goes without saying. No predictions, just been on fire tonight. Even brought Stockfish 8 to 60 moves. What does that mean? I didn't understand what you meant by brought Stockfish 8 to 60 moves. Would you believe Stockfish made a mistake before me? Yeah. Stockfish is far from perfect. If you compare it to like Leela or some maybe like stronger engine. Someone made an advertisement for ICC. Nils is like, I made an account on ICC and the ICC pool is much stronger. Well, it just depends on, you know, it depends on what time control you're talking about. That 15-minute pool on ICC, the problem is there's not many games, you know. I mean, you will get strong players, but ICC's been dying for like the last 20 years slowly. The players are stronger, but there's less players. The average player is stronger, but far less players. I mean, the business model of ICC is a fail. Like, it's an old business model. I don't think it'll be around. I mean, maybe they'll still be around in 10 years, but I kind of don't know. I'm surprised they didn't sell. They had good chances to sell their business years ago and like totally messed it up. Everybody's playing the check Benoni. Oh, 5-0. Yeah, okay. 5-0 is the most common time control. If I wanted to play stronger opposition, I would go there too, you know. But well, hopefully he'll sack a piece here, and then I won't be down a piece anymore. I mean, it's subscription based, a purely subscription based, chess site. There's no free accounts. I mean, they used to have like trial accounts, but it's a dead thing. They don't have any money, man. They can't do anything. They lost all of their members. But I don't like the people that own it. They were very, very incorrect with me. I just wouldn't go there if it wasn't desperate and lichess was turned off or something. I don't like the ownership of ICC, and I don't like chess.com, so I'm playing here on lichess. I love lichess. I guess if I played anywhere else, I might play like on... I mean, maybe play chess is the same thing as ICC sort of dying. Alright, Soltiga, what's up? You're going to lose on time? The pool is shallower. It's a pay site. 90% of the pool consists of serious players. Yeah, I mean, if people are going to pay the money, I mean, they're going to be serious. But that's not the problem. ICC is good as far as like having a strong player base, but they were much stronger at one point than even they are now. Kind of destroyed the site. All right. Dude, did I just miss something? No. I really have no clue what to do here. Why doesn't he just play F3 already? Whoa. I have no clue what to do. Jeez. Just resigns. Wow, that's an amazing game by White. Not only like his play in the opening and trapping my piece, but the speed afterwards. Just a crushing game. Look at this. There's no defense here. That's awesome, man. There's 3 games I lost in a row. Thanks, Soltigo. Making me look good, man. Good job, man. Now nobody's gonna watch. Because I lost 3 games in a row like a bunny. Apparently it's just totally winning according to the computer. I thought maybe it was almost okay here. At one point, he allows, this is insane, dude, to play f4. I mean, this plan is insane. To play knight h7 and f4. I mean, that's freaking crazy, dude. I can't believe you can do that. I mean, you're very, very lucky, dude, that I don't have d5 and some kind of queen c5 check. I mean, this was a very, very dangerous attempt, you know, bishop g5. The plan with bishop g5, that's pretty bizarre, you know, honestly. I guess the engine didn't really like it. It considered f4 to be a mistake, but I have to find a difficult move here. Queen c6, I'm not sure, you know. I had the patience for that. All right, next game. Good job. Good job, me. 3 games in a row. Okay. Not exactly a perfect game. I dropped a piece there. Good start, though, Soltiga. Way to make me look bad. d3. All right. This is really panda territory. This is not Weird Opening Wednesday, okay? Listen, I realize that I encourage people to play some strange things, but that doesn't mean that you should just play them, you know, in any situation. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek, you know. Don't literally follow what I recommend, okay? All right. So having said that, the panda would just, you know, like to sit out for a little while. We lost a game against, actually, that was the game I lost to Pichu on Wednesday. It was the first game where the losing streak started, where he played like the same thing, basically h5 with black at some point. Welcome everybody to my chess stream here. I love losing the first game, 3 games in a row. It's like my all-time losing record, probably. Not all-time on lichess, but all-time on my stream. That's where we're at right now. Very strange setup here by Baleful. I had a similar game with black a few days ago, actually, where I just waited and played h6 when I played h5. Panda in the carry-on, it's against the law to put animals in your carry-on baggage, isn't it? Well, I guess you can take, yeah, you can take dogs, and that's true. Yeah, I brought a little pet carrier. Yeah. All right, White's position is pretty sketchy here. He's played d3. I mean, excuse me, h4. I don't know why I'm saying he did play d3, but d3 is not a bad move. He's played h4, and then the bishop f4, leaving the b2 pawn hanging there. I don't think that's great. I mean, he's gonna have to play queen c1 now, because I don't know how he can sacrifice this pawn really in a justified way. Okay, guys. So today is more blitz. Is this even a good move? Probably. Your very first win in blitz against me, aside from when you left the room, come back and drop mate and won. Yeah, congratulations. Not your first win overall. You must have beat me in a simul. But it was just all the weirder because you predicted you would win. That's scary. Sort of predicted you would win. I missed e5 last move. I just realized. Okay, it's interesting. Like e5, bishop takes e5, knight g4, d4, knight takes with initiative. Get my bishop outside the pawn chain, but how? Very deep. Answered the question that I posed myself. I decided to play one of those bishop g4 closed openings, and we give the bishop for the knight. Ah, but you're not letting me. You're going back there. So queen c7, you go back to f4. That's annoying. Okay. That's super irritating. Is this still theory? Yeah. It's the h4 variation of the fianchetto, the double fianchetto hippo. Black's play seems a bit more logical, at least in my mind. You know, should I just take on h3? Because it doesn't really matter. I could draw his rook up to h3, but he's probably playing king f1, king g2 anyway. No, it's not nice what you said, Soltigo. You upset me psychologically when you said to watch out, because now I'm already like concerned. I'm playing bad, and it's just the first game, and I'm always like stressed. You set me up for that. We got the center here. It's a very awkward position. I think Baleful doesn't understand it. We only do that on Wednesdays with the weird openings. That's a special thing. It's not for every day. He's playing weird openings Friday. But that's our theme for for once a week, man. Don't try to do the h4 every game. I'm gonna create some bad habits for you guys to have to lose. But oddly enough, that against Soltigo, I've never had a bishop get trapped like that, or at least that I can remember. It's so unfair. The openings need work, Soltigo, but your overall game is good. Alright, at this point I'm taking this. This is ridiculous. Now he can't castle normally. Would you lose a piece now? Automatic recaptures. Was holding first place the whole tourney and then buckles in the end. So you just came off a very exciting chess tournament, but this is the one you were talking about, the 10-0? You predicted nothing, but it was indirect. You upset me psychologically. It's gamesmanship, man. It was just gamesmanship. Pure and simple. Then you sacked a pawn in the opening just to get my guard down. You basically made the first mistake on purpose so that I would just feel like, oh, this is going to be easy. I'll win a pawn. You know, Soltigo doesn't know the opening. Man, that's a terrible way to start the day. Okay, guys, so we're just playing faster time control. Sorry if I scared everybody there talking so fast, but normally we're playing 5+3 through 7+3. Today we're just playing 5+3, and we're playing everybody that has 100 games. I don't want to play anonymous accounts that just were created today for the purpose of trolling me or something like that. I want to play, you know, people who are real, who've had their accounts for a while. So I'm not going to play people who are like, you know, less than around 100 games. Baleful's not really paying attention tactically. You know, he has a chance to play e takes f there, and then e4. All right, hopefully he's as sleepy as I am. For Soltigo, it's easy. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. Be sure to use it when we play over the board. Soltigo, you've never played an over the board chess event, right? Of any kind. Okay, let's isn't that true? I mean, I just never really like questioned you about it, but I know that you said you never played in tournaments, and does that include any kind of informal tournaments or anything like that? You never went to like a chess club and played, right? Which is amazing. You know, you're one of the strongest players that, you know, we've seen, I think, you know, on the stream that never has played OTB. Arsenal is best. I'll give you a little bit of credibility taking out IMs. All right. Street cred. You have some OTB experience with friends. Off-track betting. That'll get Bob excited. Hit f3, d5. You don't. I guess off-track betting. Where is that? Like New York, New Jersey area thing. Swamanye. I don't know how to pronounce your name. You played over the board like 15 years ago when I was 10 last time. See, I can't reveal my age. I'm 39. But information like that, 15 years ago when I was 10 last time. Just do the math. Now we know how old you are. That's a long time, man. I mean, when you've lived 25 years, 15 years is a long time. Bishop f5. Yeah. How do you handle this objectively? I can just wait, or should I strike while the iron is hot? c4 or d4. Actually, they both make sense. I kind of like d4. It's a reverse Grunfeld. Nils will like this. I prefer playing the Grunfeld with an extra move, if I can get it. Very effective with white. I used to think... Oh God, I used to think that are 50 years old or something. Alright, we're not accepting any challenges from Shiva Nimzo. After that comment. Very... Did you think that I just said I was 25 years old, or what? What's the context to that comment, Shiva Nimzo? You used to think, but today you changed your mind, or what happened? Like, I don't really understand. Don't understand the context to that comment. Oh my God, oh God, I used to think you were 50 years old or something. Used to is the first words that I don't understand. So you today you changed your mind? Decided I was 39? Okay. Because I said I was 39. Used to think I was 50. Why not like 70 or something? You know? You must be like 11 or something. Wow. It's hard to judge people's ages when you're much different. I don't know. Alright, this setup here, pretty weird. Maybe I exchanged on d5 too early. You really think I'm 50? Jeez. That's brutal, dude. That is brutal. Nobody's ever said that to me before, man. Damn, dude. And you think I'm going to accept any more challenges? If you think I'm 50, I think you're 11. How about that, dude? Knight takes d4. Now I can play knight takes d5. Ooh, that's a nice move. It's gonna be answered by knight c6, though. Oh, no. Anybody who thinks I'm 50 is automatically going to get on the no play list forever. Knight takes d4, queen takes d4. See, if I play knight takes d5, he just runs away. Actually, he has knight c2 there too. Okay, that might give me some dynamic possibilities if he goes for that. Like knight takes d5, knight c2, e4, knight takes a1, pawn takes f5, sacking the exchange. That looks actually really interesting. Wait, I'm losing track of the... Okay, it's a long story. A chess hustler in your town who claimed to be top 80 in the nation. Oh, those main chess hustlers. Damn, dude. This is not that bad for black. Guessing people's age is a sure way to get into trouble. No, asking my age isn't bothering me. It's the number, man, that he threw out there that was like, wow, no one ever said that before. You're welcome to guess, but at least don't mess up by that much. Alright, queen takes d4. Very few people guess I'm older than I am. Most people think I'm younger, which is good, you know. You're not supposed to guess on the wrong side. You're supposed to guess on the short side, you know. That's the problem. If you're gonna miss the guess, you gotta like guess low. I pride myself on not being too old. Okay, so queen takes d4. Anyways, what's your first over the board rating ever? 1275. I can't remember the year. I keep getting it messed up. I don't know if it was 1985 or 1986. It's funny. There's this like total block. It's a total block as to whether it was 85 or 86. I literally cannot remember. It's very strange. You'd think I would remember concretely, you know? My hair tells you, man, now you're getting really personal. Dude, my college roommate was bald when he was 20. So I don't really understand how my hair tells the story, dude. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, a lot of people are bald by the time they're like 25, and definitely by 30. So I don't think so. Photon Man, I'm totally on board with that. I think you'd look 10 years younger if you shaved. Yeah, the shaving doesn't help. JCS is at least capable of a little bit of humor about it. Alright. So rook b8. I was actually expecting rook c8 here. I was watching Pulp Fiction the other day for the first time in like 20 years and realized like how like Bruce Willis was fairly young when Pulp Fiction was made. I mean, he wasn't that young, but he was still, I think he was still like 40 or under. And he was bald since he was like 30. All right. But the hair thing, we don't go there on the stream. It's 10 o'clock. You know, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. I didn't have time to, like, do my hair this morning. All right, now. Rook d1. That's the problem. The black is toast. I think, got the ambulance there. I think the problem really, you know, comes down to this early bishop f5. I'm calling that into question, trying to open the position. And when you play the Grunfeld, actually, if you think about it, this bishop f4 variation against the Grunfeld, the attempt is to kind of evacuate the queen side and the long diagonal. And when you're playing with colors reversed, you've got a tempo less. So if you look at the database, you know, while the idea of like playing bishop f5 or whatever might be like seem reasonable, I mean, that's even like kind of shocking. Like, dude, literally look, there's literally 1,000, 2,000 games and only one game black played bishop f5. I mean, if we go to ChessBase, some kind of generic database, we'll find some more games because it's not pared down to just 2200s. The lichess database, this Opening Explorer database, it's not a lichess database, okay? It's the Opening Explorer program. Whoever, it's like shareware or I don't know. They have pared it down so that both players have to be like technically masters to put it in the database. But I mean, I'm kind of surprised that bishop f5, it's not that bad of a move. It's only been played once, and the dude won. That's amazing. So, he has like c4, but I feel like that shuts it down. You know, he can shut it down with that. We could play Benko style, maybe. This would be interesting, but queen b3 apparently. And then the thing is, yeah, you can go back to c8. I mean, that may seem crazy, but it's not that easy to punish black here. So I like d4. Don't be sorry, I'm just joking around. Red horse is challenging me. Red horse is challenging me to 6+3. Red horse, if you could re-challenge me to 5+3, that would be cool. All right, best in horde is challenging me to. No, we're not taking that challenge. He's got less than 100 games. No. All right, Aspirante Maestro, we played before. We're not playing people less than 100 games. We're not playing people in different time controls. Only 5+3. Just. And by the way, if Red comes back, if he re-challenges me, yeah, I'll put him back at the top of the list. So Red Horse, if you could re-challenge me, you know, I'll put you back, you know, where you rightfully belong there. On top of the list. I'll take your challenge first, basically. That guy really is the best at horde. Yeah, that's kind of disturbing. But it's based on 66 games, which is, you know, which is weird. So we're going to wait until best in horde has 100 games. And then we'll accept his challenge. Although I would kind of prefer if he had played normal chess at all. It's basically a brand new account. Alright. I reserve the right to play people who have 100 games or more, kind of established accounts here, just to avoid certain things. So, I reserve the right to play whoever I want. But, we try to be democratic about it. Beep. This player's been challenging me a lot lately. I think I played an off-stream game with him. But honestly, guys, I'm usually online, like teaching lessons and stuff like that. So please don't be offended if I can't accept your challenges when I'm like logged on, because the majority of the time I'm doing something else. So if I have free time, I will accept anybody's challenge. But I've got to have the free time to do it. Okay, so it's like a standard Reti. This is a very passive setup he's playing with the bishop on e7, knights on d7, f6. It's like a Kali system. Ironically, you know, here's a situation where you'd like to get the bishop out on f5. The problem with the last game was that black played c5 and tried to play bishop f5 with c5. It's asking a bit too much. Now here he's making a mistake trading off a central pawn, but I don't know if I should take back with the queen or with the b pawn. I mean, objectively they're both playable. I guess it's just a matter of what you feel more comfortable with. You definitely want to take with the pawn toward the center, but you might take with the queen and just keep like the c file, for example, and the c4 square for the pieces. Good morning, Chesspots or Whales. I've never played any horde games. I don't know what it is. I mean, I have a general concept, but life is too short, and I'm already balding and middle-aged, so I'm not going to be spending my time playing horde chess. I lost my first game today, then we're getting battered for this like age stuff, and I didn't get my hair regrowth formula in today. Didn't have time this morning. All right, knight takes e5 here. He's not doing anything for his development, really. Okay, maybe like you could say the bishop can clear its way out here. He could play c5 and knight c6, bounce it back there, in a sense. So there could be some logic behind this in some way. I don't really like trading pieces when I have more space, and that's what's happening here. I mean, I guess we can consider d4. Let's consider it. I wasn't going to do it, you know, but it's strong. It's really strong, and I think I can play like c5 and just try to totally own him spatially. What I don't want to do is to break out with e5. I was going to play just knight f3, but this is much more incisive. We're taking all the space. Soltigo took me out first game, guys. I mean, some of you guys watch him streaming, so you're fans of Soltigo as well, which is cool. So he took me down. It was pretty rude, making me lose 3 games in a row, which we were not thrilled about. You're not allowed to free yourself in this position, okay? I just want to spatially own black here. You're making structural engineering homework. $10 o'clock in the morning. It's a good thing you're not becoming a chess professional, Nils. You're making the right decision. I love chess, but I think it should remain a hobby. All right, rook fc1, rook d8, knight c4. Knight c4 looks good. Let's do it. Basically, we're going to try to plant a knight on d6. But I've got to judge that he can't play the b break with this, because I'll bust him with knight e5. Just everything coming down on c6. And now we unleash the e pawn. That's the basic plan. The only problem is that when I play e4, will he have b5 or b6 in some moment? I don't really want to play like a4, a5. Yeah, honestly, Nils, I mean, when I went to college, I was kind of glad it was over, but when I graduated, I didn't go to get a master's degree, and I guess, that was a question of money, but in a way I was glad, oh, I don't have to do homework again. But stay in school. That would be my advice. Stay in school for as long as possible. Learn as much as you can. It's as easy as that. Knight c4, e4, we'll just go. That takes away the e8 square from his knight. Not that it even matters. But I don't think rook e8 looks right. Now, can he break out with b6 here? b6. I can play knight d6 right away. Ouch. Ooh, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. Following your dreams is how you become homeless. Yeah. Drifter. How you become a drifter? He was a high plains drifter. Knight d6. God, I love the Beastie Boys. That's how old I am. If it gives you any indication. Alright. So now what? What do we do? How do we increase the space advantage here? I mean, we could play e5, but it gives him that nice square on d5. Why do we have to make any concessions at all, basically? We're in there. The knight is magically defended. Chess helps the grain. I'm getting dyslexic from chess. Soltigo. We noticed yesterday. Chess helps increase dyslexia. In my experience. I mean, is b6 going to be a real issue here? Because if it is, then let's not... I don't know. I don't really want to take my bishop off the long diagonal. I guess it's just temporary, huh? We can always go back to the long diagonal if the need arises. Wasn't Fischer homeless for a fair amount of his career? Now, come on, dude. It depends on how you define homeless. I mean, I don't think so. I don't think he was ever homeless. I think he just, like, you know, he didn't want people to know where he was. You know, this is a completely different thing. No, I don't think the dude was ever homeless, like literally homeless. I mean, there could be some period where he might have been for a very short time, but I really seriously doubt that. No. I don't believe so. He was just in he was like in hiding, man. I mean, he just didn't want to be seen. Even when he was in Hungary, I was here in the late 90s. The late 90s, early 2000, when he was here. It was almost impossible to find him, man. I mean, people met him, but it was like... Dude was so paranoid. You guys don't know my Bobby Fischer story? I don't tell it very often. But when I came here the first time around, back in, I guess it was 1998, I want to say. It was 98, I believe. Fischer was living here in Budapest. He was friends with some people, a lot of the chess players, and some people in the know. Portish didn't really have contact with him. I know that Rigo Janos, one of my teammates, had good contact with Fischer when he was in Budapest. He was an old friend of Fischer's, but basically, to give you an indication of what Fischer was like, I was at a friend's house, this guy Gerardo Barbero, who was an Argentine grandmaster. And Gerardo invited me and my girlfriend at the time over to his house with his wife and him to just hang out and play chess and some other games. He liked to play games, all kinds of different games. He was like a game aficionado, Barbero. So we just went over there, we're having a nice evening, hanging out, just talking and playing. And then the phone rings, and Barbero's wife was like answering it, I think. And she was like, Gerardo, telephone. And we were like, okay, whatever. But then, it was weird because then he was like, shh, you have to be quiet. And we were like, what's going on? Like, and then, so he's talking on the phone, and for a while he goes in another room. And then when he came back, he told us what happened. It was really weird. It was like, Fischer was on the phone. He was in Budapest, and he was looking for someone to help him because he had this crazy idea. He decided, this was like, right, like, I don't know, whenever, like, I guess the U.S. was sanctioning Iraq or something, and Saddam Hussein was still in power, of course. So Fischer hated the U.S. government. He wanted to find someone to help him to arrange to have a match with the top Iraqi chess master in Iraq, sponsored by Saddam Hussein. So he wanted to contact Saddam Hussein, and he wanted, like, Gerardo Barbero to help him to contact Saddam Hussein, But, like, you couldn't That's why you had to be like shh, like you couldn't like hear him. He couldn't hear someone speaking English in Barbera's apartment because he was afraid, he was paranoid, like the government was out to get him and stuff like that. So that's why we had to be quiet while Gerardo was on the phone. You know, it was just really strange. It was a strange and sort of surreal experience. This guy Aspirante Maestro, I mean, plays a really, really strange game. You know, honestly, it's like he likes having passive defensive position or something. He's really enjoying this. I was a little distracted to tell the story as best I could, with obviously my flag hanging constantly. But the point was, like, you couldn't talk. Like, if Fischer heard anyone speaking English in the background, he would just hang up the phone. We couldn't understand, like, what in the world could be, like, that we weren't allowed to talk while the guy was on the phone. It was pretty weird. So that guy, I told him to come back with a 6+3 challenge, but he didn't. We're going to play this guy if he has 100 games. Who donated 500 bits? Is that Nils? Nils, thank you for the donation. Positional squeeze. Yeah, that was a lot of space. That's why you can't play too passively in these closed Catalan type things. It's better to get the bishop outside the pawn chain. So you'd be better off playing a London system, a real London system against the reti. Like Lasker, I think, recommended d5, c6, bishop f5 if you're facing this ready, a reti type of setup. Okay, this is my first time playing this guy. Fischer was extremely paranoid, dude. He was just paranoid, you know, but he had some reason to be paranoid. Like, the government really was sanctioning him and stuff, you know. They really wanted to take his money away. I mean, this isn't made up, you know. He got this huge prize from the World Championship, and it was like illegal because we had bombed Serbia, you know, and he won the money from a government that was sanctioned by the U.S. government. I mean, this wasn't made up, you know. He was paranoid for that, you know, legitimately. But it was a little bit like exaggerated. So the same thing, but he's demonstrating what you're supposed to do, like put the bishop outside the pawn chain. Actually, I played d3, which was a bad move here. It would be more accurate to play, I think it would be more accurate to play c4 in one go. Not to bother with d3, but to play c4 in one move, a bit better. Thank you for the donation again, Nils. I guess that's it in response to the game. You like the positional squeeze. 500 bits is an awesome donation, though. That's very, very generous. And that's actually our biggest donation thus far this week. What? That Carl smile looks like Nicolas Cage. Where is that? Alright, so c6. And then what do we do? Oh, the London system is tough, man. It's really tough to deal with. I don't really like Nicolas Cage. b3. I can't click on more messages. Oh, you like the story, the Fischer story? Yeah, but it wasn't my best telling of it. It's been a long time, too. It was 20 years ago. I never ran into Fischer here. I have friends who did, though. He liked to go to a Mexican restaurant, and I have a couple of Mexican friends, oddly enough, that were living in Budapest at the time, and Mexican chess players playing here. And sometimes they could catch Fischer at this Mexican restaurant because he really liked Mexican food. And once my friend who was an IM actually the point was, so the guy, my friend who was an IM, he knew one of the chefs or whatever at this restaurant, and one of the cooks, and so he eventually figured out that Fischer would go there, and so he befriended this cook, and then he found out, like, so the guy would call him when Fischer came in, you know, and let him know. He said, "Hey, Fischer's here." So once Fischer came in with Leiko, and they were talking, and I guess Fischer wasn't really officially helping Leiko, but they had a good relationship. So my friend was able to go there and hang out and introduce himself, and since he knew Leiko, Fischer let him stay and let him like just hang out and analyze with them. It was an awesome experience for my friend, and he got to see like how Fischer, you know, really analyzed, and he said that it was noticeable. Like Leiko at his peak, basically, or close to his peak, getting close to his peak, he said Fischer just like blew him away in terms of like his understanding in analysis. Like it wasn't even a contest. And this is Leiko in like 98 when he was, or 99, or I don't know, you know, in that period when he was getting close to kind of like at his maximum strength. A3. Standard Reti position here. This is absolutely really, really standard. Unfortunately, I was walking around the town at the same time as Fischer, but I never actually, as far as I know, I never actually saw him. There was another funny story that Portish told me, Portish Lajos, of course. He told me that back in when they had, like in the 70s, when they had a tournament in San Antonio, you know, Bobby was in hiding. This was like after after he quit or whatever and refused to play the rematch or the match with Karpov. There was a tournament in San Antonio. Portish was playing, and he said that Fischer actually, he was the only one who saw him. He said that he wasn't like crazy. He said that he saw Fischer and he was in disguise. He like literally went to San Antonio to watch the tournament in disguise, and like only Portish really recognized him, as far as the way that Lajos remembered. It's really pretty insane. I don't know if I want to play e4. So he would go into disguise to go to a chess tournament to watch. Rook b1 was a bad move, probably. Now I can't play bishop c3, which I really wanted to do. So I don't know what to do. Is Banks the Fischer of his generation? I don't know. I don't know. We can't really compare these different generations. I just don't do that. You know, trying to compare is just not the same thing. If a different time, you can't compare it. Unfortunately, it's cool to think about comparing them, but I don't think you can really do that. It's like comparing Morphy and Fischer or something. I mean, totally different things. Black went back with queen d8 now. What are we supposed to do? Reorganize. Darn. Queen f8, this guy. Who is this guy? He's going extremes. Going to extremes here. Yeah, I don't know what to do. I'm going to drop a pawn. That's a good idea. Just shuttle the pieces back and forth with no meaning. Carlson is better because of the engines. I mean, we would assume that people should get better rather than worse, right? I mean, it would only be natural. They should get better, you know, technically. But it's a totally different world. Chess engines are forcing players to change their playing styles too. Look at the top players, how like in the 80s and the 90s, probably the number one move for black after e4 was c5, and probably now it's like moving toward e5 amongst top players, because I think the engines are making people change the way they play chess, making them play a little more conservatively, in a sense. Every time someone turns on their chess engine, every chess professional who turns on their chess engine and puts in e4, now they see like, oh, after c5, white has like a 0.3 advantage, but after e5 it's only like 0.2 or 0.1, and then they're like, maybe I should rethink my first move, you know. And then so people are starting to play even differently in that stage. All right, this is a very standard idea. But appropriate. These squares seem a tiny bit weakened, but I don't know how to take advantage. Knight d4 e5. There's a nice article that talks about this being the non-engine era, where players are looking for non-engine theory moves to play. Well, I don't know. I mean, you talk about Leela, but I don't think that it's wild and crazy. I mean, I think it's just sensible in a different kind of way, you know. There's rhyme and reason to even the wildest looking computer chess programs play. Does this make sense? This guy seems really strong. I have a time edge, but quite sure what I'm supposed to do here. Just equal. To be a little bit careful my knight doesn't get trapped or something like that. Okay. He's centralizing his king a little early here. And maybe it's not that bad. Could easily like lose a piece there or something. That was a tragic blunder by black. He was probably holding with knight c8 there. Yeah, I mean, I think this is actually a terrible blunder by me first, and then by black in return. Okay, it's not a draw apparently. I thought maybe he could just blockade in and get over and win it, but after, like, let's say king f8 or whatever, apparently I'm still better. I have a way to keep him off. Like e4, king e7, e5 maybe. Well, that drops a pawn. This is not so easy. It was a terrible blunder for me to play this. Queen c7, but my flag was hanging and I kind of panicked. I knew I could have won a piece with knight c6, but I was afraid of queen takes f2 giving him some counterplay. Here, oh, here, and I didn't want to give him this, but I mean this is probably winning for me somehow. I can come back and defend myself. Alright guys, that was a classic game for the Reti. Very, very typical play. I didn't have anything. I don't expect anything. You know, when I played the Reti, really, but black played well. It should have been a draw. Alright, Mershad is up next. What do we got? 5+3, 5+3, 5. We're only playing 5+3 casual. Chessbot tried to sneak in a rated game. We'll ask you to re-challenge me to casual, and we'll go from there. Alright, Black Widow. That's a scary name. So Mershad. Yeah, Grishuk, I don't know, man. I mean, Grishuk's better than me, so he has a better clue as to whether he could, you know, whether he's stronger than Fischer was at his peak. I gotta default to his judgment, but it's a little arrogant sounding. You know, I'm not gonna like say no, that's not true. Again, you can't really compare, but Grishuk's basically claiming that his current strength is stronger than Fischer at his peak. But again, you know, how do you make this comparison? You know what I mean? Like, you can't, because like Grishuk has all this knowledge that wasn't in existence when Fischer was alive. So by definition, you can't compare Grishuk to Fischer. It's just, you know, how do you objectively even make a comparison like that? Grishuk is by definition a product of the information of his era, you know. It's just a weird comment to make. I mean, I don't think I would, if I was in the top 10 in the world, even go out on a limb and say something like that, because it just doesn't make sense, you know. Just unless time travel were possible or something, you know, it's irrelevant. Okay, bishop g5 here. Yeah, the Lengyel Bela Richter attack. Amazing how often I get people who play this. Nose all bucket list. I literally haven't played a game in that opening ever. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, Queen f8. I said I made a mistake with allowing you to pressurize a3. I should have played bishop c3 first, but I mean the b5. This is a very, very standard idea. Queen f8 actually made a lot of sense too. It's probably been played. So for someone who never played it, I thought you played it pretty normally. This is called the Richter attack. The German master, Kurt Richter. There's a very good middle game book on combinations by Richter. Was it Richter? I think so. To look it up. I have that. Wait, it's 1354. Damn, dude. Better watch out for piece sacrifices with knight d5. If this is a rated game, I basically count myself out. I don't like to see when people don't move pawns. Then I'm afraid they're using an engine or something. I mean, the more modern programs started to maybe be more human-like, but typically when I see no pawn moves at all, my first thought is, uh-oh, it's an engine. But this guy actually has played me 3 times before, so I assume he's not a chess engine. But so far, I mean, he's played the opening way too well for a 1300. You would never see 1300s play this efficiently in the opening stage normally. This is an underrated variation by White. But it's not really theory, Photon Man. That's the problem. I mean, it's just not a variation that people play. That's the thing. Nobody plays this at the theoretical, you know, on a theoretical level. The only person I knew that ever played this was Bela Engel. Hungarian IM, you know, like a lesser Hungarian IM. Lengyel Bela. So it's not like he's gonna know the variations, the obscure chess theory when you're 1300. He's just playing moves, you know. Logical moves, but just piece moves. Actually, I saw a game like this with one of my students yesterday. Little girl, or a teenage girl who was rated like 1400. She literally like moved all the pieces, no pawn moves, and she had my student busted in like 11 moves, like a totally winning position. But because she failed to calculate, she didn't even see it. You know, it was like ridiculous. Like he was just gone in one move. You know, but you got to actually calculate in order to see it, and she was just making moves without calculating. Now this is getting a little bit too much, dude. I mean, really, like White is playing like way too good for 1300. Maybe he's just excessively slow. But knight h4 is an exceptional positional move. Very efficient play here by White. But but is this just bad for White on move 11? Why is it bad for White? I mean, it's extremely solid. White's made no weaknesses in his entire position. Now this kind of subtle retreating with bishop e3. This can't be bad for White. How can you have a bad position when you don't create any weaknesses? But he's way beyond any 1300. Now, he may just simply not calculate well. You know, that's why he's 1300, I guess. Like the little girl. Put her pieces on perfect squares. And then, you know, she was taught by her master or whoever, you know, oh, how to put your pieces. But then when it came to calculation, she just couldn't see like a two-move tactic. I mean, if you're going to be, you know, unable to see two-move tactics, you might be 1300. But yet play the rest of the game like you were 1800. Without tactics, you're going to be pretty defenseless, basically. But positionally, White's game is really, really solid. You know, I would say like very rarely do you see someone who can play this solid without creating any weaknesses. One of the most defining weaknesses of lower rated players is their creation of weaknesses in their position. This player just doesn't do it, you know. Literally, look, mom, no weaknesses in this whole position. Give him a puzzle to solve. Instantly rook takes. The most efficient move he could play. Now I can like triple along the D line with perfect piece play. I mean, that's kind of weird, dude. Honestly. Very computer-like. Yeah, this is maybe just his style, but I'm pretty scared at this point. This is risky to open up my king. This is how my student got busted by the 14-year-old girl. 2 knights against 2 bishops, exactly the same theme, where the knights started to kind of control the center in a Nibzovician way. Here's a tactic. Yeah, this doesn't work. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, White played the whole game perfectly and then sacrificed a piece. That doesn't work. White is slightly better here after 20 moves and then sacrifices a piece for nothing. The engine says that rook takes d6 is a good exchange sack, for example. That's a weird game. I don't know what to say. Okay, thank you for the piece. The b2 pawn look kind of weak. I mean, the b2 pawn is b3 and it's nothing. White's just slightly better. It's a typical position. f5 was too risky, I guess. I wouldn't make that if I really thought I was playing like a computer or something. I need to play something safer to deny this exchange sack here. So the computer says I am better here because my structure is so fluid. But I was a little bit scared. Again, White doesn't make any weaknesses. Alright, Phi Lord. Well, I mean, if he was like 1700, I would accept it, you know. But 1300? I mean, 1300s always make mistakes, and they make, like, anti-positional moves and stuff. This guy doesn't make any, you know. He just plays 20 moves and then drops a piece. What's wrong with rook b8? It doesn't do anything. I mean, White just plays b3. It's okay. There's nothing really wrong with it, but I feel like the reason why I don't play rook b8 is because actually b3 is a useful move for him. You might argue that you want to keep the b pawn hanging in reserve because maybe somehow down the line that might be relevant, like you could double attack something. If you play rook b8, you're just playing a move for the sake of attacking something. You're not actually, unless you have a way to invade along the b file, which I really didn't think was realistic. I mean, what am I going to do? Put my rook on b4 so it can be attacked by his queen on d2 with some discovery or something? I mean, typically I'll play like, if anybody else plays against me, I'm going to pull my hair out, really. All we get is the, I can't afford to do that, but all we get is the stupid London system, man. Oh. Alright, we'll try something different this game. So my argument is like, don't attack things for the sake of attacking them. You know, it's like, oh, rook b8, I'm attacking a pawn. Okay, b3, and then what did you achieve? You didn't really achieve anything. All right, so I was gonna say, we'll try something a little different. That's the question, you know. Rook b8, a totally natural move. But is it, in fact, forcing white to make a useful constructive move anyway? Because if that's the case, then it's a waste of time. Do something that's more constructive. B2, and he has some dark square weaknesses. Are you going to castle queenside? Uh-oh. Okay, now typically I would play a different formation here with like queen e1, maybe queen e1, e3. I guess we can still do that. There really aren't a lot of options. A3, B4. Maybe we should go ahead and do this anyway. The full ambulance is in effect out there. My argument would be, all I see is this lame fianchetto. You mean my bishop on g7? My king on g7? What do you mean by the fianchetto? Which lame fianchetto? Like his b3 with no bishop there? Or my fianchetto king on g7? That's the question. Black played the knight to c6, which is weird in the structure. Not the best place. He's blocking his c-pawn from influencing the center. I knew that f5 was a mistake last move, but he was getting low on time and I wanted to do something aggressive. Oh, complaining about the London system, yeah, man, it's like all anybody plays. But we've had the 3 games so far today. I mean, so this is our 3rd game where black played like bishop f5 on the first 3 moves. I should play, though it's my fault, because it's kind of a fast time control, I'm just throwing out knight f3, g3. I should really have mixed it up and played different stuff. I should have played e4. We've got an hour left, guys, so I'm going to stop playing this King's Indian attack, Reti formation for today. That's what I do when it's a fast time control, when I just don't want to think in the opening. It's easy to just throw the moves out. But I'll be a little more thoughtful and play some different stuff. Yeah, I'd be complaining about your opening choice. It's a fast time control. I'm used to the 7+3. So I want to play, you know, without having to think too much in the opening. You're not allowed to do that. Just me. But I had this conversation with Nikola Sedlak, Serbian grandmaster who wrote a book on the London system. And I realized that I'm like a prime candidate for people who play the London system because it makes me angry. Nikola was saying how like that's why he likes it, you know, because it makes people uncomfortable. Like they don't like playing against the London system. They wanna punish it. It's like a. I was always taught that it was kind of like a club opening, you know, like a kind of club opening, not really serious, mostly played by weak players, you know. And so I guess I never had really a lot of respect for the London system because I never saw strong players playing it. Grandmasters never played the London system until maybe I came across like Gada, you know. Gada would play pretty much every kind of, he plays pretty much every kind of closed queen pawn game. Gada would lean more toward playing the bishop g5, like the Tory attack, rather than the London system. A little later, though, I discovered Rubinstein and realized that you know, Rubinstein did play the London system, but you got to keep it in context. In those days, I mean, there wasn't really any opening theory. There wasn't as much opening theory as compared to today. Rubinstein was just like a master positional player, so the London system kind of made sense. People just made positional mistakes and he just wasted them. You know, there wasn't anything to it. It was very easy. What are we supposed to do now? Is it ridiculous to consider f4? It's kind of weakening my king side. Alright, whatever. I don't like closing this up so much, though. Arsenal fan, what's up? Yeah, Rubinstein is a funny player in that respect, Midnight Rhino, because he actually played main lines, and he also played closed queen pawn systems, which makes him very interesting. So while at the same time he like invented like basically the best way to play against the Tarosh Queen's Gambit, at the same time he was playing like the London system and the Coley system and the Coley Zuckertort system and the Queen's Gambit accepted with colors reversed. So he was a unique player because he had the ability to play like 5 different things, and he even played e4 in his earlier days. So yeah, I mean he does have like 5 different opening. He has like 5 different opening systems to his credit, among other things. And deservedly so. Like Rubinstein's opening play was extremely ahead of his time. It was almost like one of those, gave you the feeling of, you know, he had been contacted by ancient aliens and taken up to a spaceship like our FIDE, the former FIDE president, given knowledge of the ages. Phil Lord. I think of the guy from the original Hawaii 5-0. What was the name? It was something. His last name was Lord. The main character from the original 5-0. Nice positional move there. Actually, Phil Lord, like our last opponent, playing strategically really well. You know, despite having less space here. We try to bury that London system bishop, as we did in the other game. It just ends up kind of out of play. Now this move, I was discussing this with one of my students pretty much yesterday. You're attacking the head of the pawn chain. It's kind of a dangerous procedure. While it's not completely unheard of, Jack Lord. So his name wasn't really Jack Lord. That's just a stage name. I forget what his name was. He had like a very average name. His real name. Yeah, the original Hawaii 5-0 guy. We get off so weird. In Jack Lord, he was Felix Leiter in Dr. No. I love that show. That was like one of my favorite TV shows when I was a kid. I still, not that recent, not that long ago, watched some reruns. All right, bishop d4. So do we go ahead and play e4? I mean, I think we're going to have to do it eventually. Do we take more space here? Man, really nice, patient play by Jack Lord here. We go with the space. But can we really afford it? How about f4? Again, he was kind of going out against the grain with the idea. Okay, his queen is weird. A little weird there. On b5 in the sense that if anything opens up, it's like surprise. But I'm wondering if I'm going to be regretting this now. Man. Advanced positional play by black. This is ironic to play rook b1. And very artificial too. We've never actually played this guy before. Okay. So he's our second opponent who's, well, he's strong enough. He's 1800. The guy who's 1300, if he played like this, come on. You know, strategically very strong. But he's leaning passive again. Can't really decide which way I want to go here. We're going to hope that Phil Lord is weak tactically, because strategically he's pretty good. He almost has to be weaker tactically, because he would be high rated if not. I don't know about this move. This really closes the position. Yeah, this is probably a big mistake. Immediately strong move, Queen A6. Right at B5. Doesn't really do anything though. I mean, B5 will he'll just absorb it. Like Queen A8. Unless I could play B5, B6. But again, he just blockades. Alright, I'm about to flag. Phil's only weakness might be tactics. But this could get very strange now. If he's able to blockade my passed pawn. Queen C8 I missed in my previous calculations. Queen C8 instead of Queen A8 was better. He can still take the A3 pawn probably. Did not do it. Alright, we'll go. Go on the other side. Okay, I think I missed something. Yeah, strategically Phil is good. But he miscalculated. I mean, here's a player who, you know, is quite strong. And if he just proves the tactical side of his game, he's going to go miles. Just calculation needs to be improved, but the strategic play is excellent. You know, he was even arguably outplaying me. It's pretty fast too. Fast enough anyway. Time is not a problem. He's got enough time. And now he's the outside pawn. I got a little bit oh my god. Now I'm gonna like lose. Wow, he had A2 there, didn't calculate. And he's just like winning. Oh wow, that's crazy. Okay, it's understandable when you have like no time left at all. Now he takes B2, A2. Wait, did I have a move there? Wait, my bishop... Where was my bishop on D4? Maybe I'm lying? Maybe I was just lying to you guys. What was going on? When I played knight takes B2, maybe my bishop was still on D4. No. It wasn't on D4. It needs to be on D4. Yeah. So this is a stupid chess trick with knight C4. And he called my bluff here. I just have to like sack my knight for the A pawn. And he's okay. So I let him off the hook there. Another not so impressive game by me. Alright, Malutz. Malutz is up next. Does it count as lying if you thought it wasn't right even though you were wrong? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. But I feel bad about it. I had back rank made a few times. Most people play 3-0, get a rating without time control, and then when they play +5/+3, they're much better. That's an interesting point. That's an interesting point, Nils. I never really thought about that, and you bring that up. So most people don't play 5+3. I'm aware of that, but I never really thought about it like they're going to play better. Most people also, well, I mean, some people just play badly because they panic and they can't use that increment properly. But I think there's a side to your argument as well. There may be a case for that. No more London system. And no more knight f3 g3 for me, okay? We're going to both make a deal. You guys aren't allowed to play the London system. I'm not allowed to play knight f3 and g3, okay? So let's just agree now. Hello, I'm the Chess Panda. I just want to, thank you guys for cooperating and agreeing not to play the London system anymore. And William will agree not to play knight f3, and I'll agree to put my head straight, okay? So get your head straight, and no more chicky tracks, okay? Yesterday we dyslexically said tricky checks backwards. That's my new catchphrase. So knight c3, leaving the realm of the normal. We could transpose to before. We could actually transpose to almost identical game if White plays d4 to that other guy, the 1300 who doesn't make weaknesses. Clash Kid, what's up? Norwegian Chess Giant is here. Seems to be a friend of Soltigo. Be a friend of Soltigo's is a friend of mine. Clash Kid, 5+3 is standard blitz time control. Yeah, I forgot about that, Clash Kid. It's a FIDE blitz time control. There's a lot of things I forget about. But still, for average people, like, they don't give a crap about what the official FIDE blitz time control is. They never even played in a tournament. So we have queen takes. Now it's like a Moscow or whatever, check over variation. I was expecting knight takes like our previous guy. I like that a little bit better. I don't think the queen takes is as dangerous unless it's played like opposite side castling. That opposite side castling, Moscow or check over variation. For some reason, I always say Moscow variation, but the Moscow variation is technically the bishop b5 check. I guess there's some confusion about transpositions. Actually, Turkey Farm's absolutely right, man. Turkey Farm's totally right. The official FIDE is 3+2, which adds up to like the equivalent of 5 minutes. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right, dude. You're right. I'm wrong. But thank you for correcting me, Turkey Farm, because otherwise, I would just go on being an idiot. And I don't want to be an idiot, So if I do make a mistake, I'm not too proud to admit it. Now we transpose to like a standard castles on the same side, check over variation. But it's not dangerous for black, really, like the opposite side castling lines. Okay, so I guess I should go here. Zarga Voli. I'm just trying to be funny with the opposite side speaking. Varga Zoli had a game in a rapid tournament, I remember, against me. It was something like this where he did like e5, and I was like, wait, how does that work? And then when I took it, he just took with the queen, and we traded queens, and it was like de, queen takes e5, queen takes e5, knight takes e5, and it's just pretty dead. Probably equal, but normally this move, it's not what you really want to do. You're trading off your strong point. He did it anyway. Okay, a lot of times it might peter out to a draw, this sort of liquidation. Oh, this is a new account. No, it's not. Yeah, he's got 30 and 6 against me. How can he have no games, though? M4-7, how can you have so many games against me? I never realized you were unrated. Completely unrated. So rook takes. We've got 2-3 good squares for the queen, so it's no problem. But I think I'd like to trade queens under the circumstances. The way piece is looking really scary. But is it queen b4 or queen... Yeah, bishop takes f3, queen takes d4. Bishop takes f6, excuse me, I'm being really got problems with the dyslexia. Dyslexia is not a joke, guys. I'm not trying to I really have the tendency to be dyslexic. I'm not trying to diss people who are dyslexic. It's not made up. I have a tendency to be dyslexic for reals. Scary pieces. Yeah, all of his pieces are very active. Transferring here to the king side is not a joke, you know. For example, if I played queen b4, let's say bishop takes f6, g takes f6. I want to say he has a good move there. Well, I don't know, rook h5. And then he still doesn't have any threats. I think I might see a variation. Bishop takes f6, g takes f6. This is if queen b4, bishop takes f6, g takes f6, rook h5. No, I don't see a variation. I could just take with the g-pawn. I got to admit that I'm wrong. Now he transferred queen h4. But I'm not buying this really, am I? Yeah, that would have been better to play queen b4. This is what we're talking about with scary pieces. No rated games. It's pretty weird, man. He's anti-rated games. But I don't think I like my position. Queen b4 was the right move, and I talked myself out of it. It's so stupid. I guess he couldn't do anything. That sucks. I guess he trades queens on b4, and then plays like knight d4. I think he's still okay there, though. I mean, there's no big deal. Queen takes b4, bishop takes b4. It's approximately equal. But now I could be seriously worse, which is not cool. Is rook e1 in error? Very likely. Because if he doesn't have knight e4 here, I'm not really sure what he's doing. Knight e4, queen takes e5, knight takes f6 check. Well, I mean, I have queen takes f6 at the very minimum. Sacking my queen for a very strong formation. Bishop and rook and pawn for the queen with a fortress would be fine. But I think I have better, right? Knight e4, queen takes e5, knight takes f6 check. Bishop takes f6. Rook takes e5, bishop takes e5. Now I have two rooks for the queen. That doesn't work. Oh. Rook takes e5, rook d1 check, king g2, bishop takes e5. Exactly. Now if he doesn't have some weird fork of my pieces on e5 and d1, then I should be okay. But I'm not really better because my position is really disorganized. Now he did knight d5. I don't believe that's working. Rook takes d5. Rook takes d5. Knight takes d5. Takes e7. Takes e7. Queen takes e7. Yeah, we're winning. I mean, knight e4 was really interesting. This not as much. It's Saul's younger brother? He's S4. Wait, can you write out S4's name? Because, is there some code to it? Yes, Soltiga, we're listening to you. Don't worry, you don't have to send me any bit donations. Fancy trading. We're 2 pawns up with a better structure. This is a win. Name checked in Charles Hurtan's forcing move. Forcing moves. Name checked. What does that mean, name checked? Now, Charlie's an old friend of mine, so it wouldn't be surprising if I've got a game in his books. But not only in the forcing moves, he has another book where I have a game. But I mean, we played in a lot of the same tournaments, so, and we played many, many times. It's not a Hurtan game, though. It's not one of his games. Saul pretending to have a younger brother. Guys are brutal. It's Saul pretending to be a girl. No. This is over. No, Mullets has been on here for a long time, guys. If you go back a year in my stream, I don't know, he could be Saul's younger brother. Speaking of younger brothers, my younger brother is meeting with Eric Hansen for potential sponsorship this weekend. Do you want to elucidate on the context of that? Is it chess stream related, or what's the context? So actually, like, let's look at this for a second. He has knight e4. I mean, this was the big question when I played queen b6 in the opening like an idiot. The engine, of course, just refutes my analysis. It's like queen c7 is the best move. Queen a6 is the other good move. I felt queen a6 is just entirely out of play. Wow, I'm kind of stymied by that. Dude, the computer is ridiculous. It's like queen a6, queen f4, queen b6 or something. Okay, queen c7 is a move, but I was thinking I might even be a target, you know, to something like bishop f4. The queen c7, bishop f4, bishop d6, he's going to have to sack an exchange. And I don't know if he really wants to do that. What's wrong with queen b4? Nothing. I mean, I was saying like take, and knight d4. Apparently the engine like thinks this is a little better for black. I liked queen h4. I thought this was a gutsy move. Engine doesn't agree. I should just take on b2 right away. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't know what I was thinking. Like, literally. I don't know. Alright. It was bad to play rook a d8. Let's see if he had the knight e4 after all. I figured that white would have some serious chances to hold this because it's kind of hard for me to coordinate. Although I have a very good structure, yeah, like right away queen e4. This is not going to be easy for me to win. You know, I've got a pawn and 2 rooks for the queen, but it's a little hard for black to get the setup to gel in this position. So white is probably okay. Elaborate is clearer. He wants to sponsor him. Okay. So it's not... But I mean, are we talking about sponsor him for generally in chess altogether? Or are we talking about just sponsor him as a chess streamer? So just I was wondering if it connected to chess streaming concretely, or just you mean like in general chess sponsorship. Alright, so d4. Nils. We got to try something different against this guy because he's getting quite a few games against me now. Getting hot in here too. It started out last night, it was quite cool, but the temperature goes up really fast. All right. Arsenal fan, good to see you, my friend. Niels did not do anything stupid. So now we probably have to transpose to the King's Indian. Though I don't typically play knight on BD7 King's Indians these days. Well, we'll try the weirdness with E4. The last time I played this was 2 years ago in Zal Karosh, this Norwegian FIDE master, Risting, and I was really scared. But then I figured out what I was doing, and I got slightly better, but he offered a draw. But I wasn't sure, so I accepted it. The real story was that I had a bad hangover. And I felt really, really good when the game started. But by the time we got to like move 25 and he offered me a draw, I felt horrible. So it wasn't because of his innate strength that I decided to take the draw. Alright, G3. Actually, I should probably kick him back and think about the extreme G5. That's not objectively forced. I like bishop f5 because it's, you know, unlikely he's going to hit me with G4 now that he's spent a tempo on G3. You having a hangover is not a story. It was relevant though, because it was the only game where I've really, you know, in the last couple of years, the only game where I've had this excuse. I'm pretty good. My behavior has been quite good in recent times. I think I play worse since I drink less. Arsenal. But you would probably subscribe to that theory. A lot of people would think I was full of it, just BSing. Now, can we punish him? I don't want the knight to come to f4. But in reality, it's trapped. Oh my god. Oh no. It's like Shades of Soltigo. The theme of the day. I win a piece here? It's completely unfair. There's got to be a way out. No, I mean it's a given. So frequent. As the, yeah, you're like a walking encyclopedia. I'm an honorary pool chess club player, thank you. Queen d7. The less I drink, the worse I play. Queen d7. $50 Shades of Soltigo? Why? Why do you say that? I didn't read Turkey Farm. You know, I'm not even sure Will like most of the new generation. My brother has an aversion to phone calls, and I didn't get all the details. He doesn't even play chess, and did this without asking you first. Yeah, I didn't understand the Soltigo comment. Nils got his knight trapped on h3, and oddly enough, after knight f4 g5, it's still trapped. But I was just thinking, is there some kind of weird way he could get his piece out of this? Knight f4 g5 doesn't. There's nothing he can do. But the story behind this is that my bishop got trapped in game 1 against Soltigo on h3, Nils. I don't know if you caught the first game, but I won a pawn on h3, and my bishop simply got trapped. This is my revenge for the Soltigo game. We're actually, congratulations to Soltigo. He beat me for like the second time ever, and it was an impressive game. Trapped and bishop straight up on h3. So Haggard DK, the S villain, Pichu, Black Widow. As long as Black Widow has, games. But I mean, we'll see how many we can play. We're going to stream for 35 more minutes, so we probably have time for 3 more, possibly 4. No, Photon Man, you gotta play tactically in that system. It's so anti-positional that honestly, if you don't have tactics, you can just like not even show up. Don't bother to show up when you play this crappy old Indian with e4. It's totally unsound. So you're basically playing the first 5 or 6 moves, and then you're just looking for cheap tactics. Let's do it again. Theme of the day. You want your bits back. You learned something vital. It's a tricky system, but it's not very good. There's all kinds of ways for white to get an advantage after e4. One of the strange things for me, looking at it a little more deeply, is that after e4, I myself also play knight to g5, but it turns out that knight d2. It turns out that knight d2 might even be a better move. Sorry, dropped my poker chips. Just don't drop any pawns. We've got various. I'd like to play with something, It's like old poker room chips. BG5, that's a TN. I've never run into this before. Interesting move. Maybe there's something to be said for pawn takes d4, but it sort of mobilizes his development. e4, queen d4. He also has e4, knight d5, but then it's like, what does he do after that? Knight takes e7, bishop e7. I could sack. What am I talking about? I could keep the pawn. All right, whatever. Nah, screw it. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to play bishop e7. Asterbate would appreciate. Yeah, Arsenal, good call. It's complicated, and then after e4, I'm mobilizing his pieces a little bit. He has knight d5. It's more natural to keep my center, too. But I feel like, do tell what's so great about rematches. You realize why people rematch a lot. You know what's funny? I never liked the rematches that much, but if I really enjoyed a session, I would sometimes play really long blitz sessions with people. Lately, I don't have time. But in the old days, originally, like in my earlier life, my old life, I used to play very long blitz sessions with the same player, lots and lots of games, maybe 10 games. But that's the old me when I had a lot of free time on my hands. That's enjoyable, And I also felt like I could beat people down pretty badly once I understood their style. But it takes a while for me to adapt. I can't adapt really well to certain players. That was Larry Christensen. One of the funny things he said to me, he used to take people's rating points, like all of them, just because he's mean. He wasn't satisfied to just beat them a couple games. He would beat them down to literally taking all their rating points away. And that's typical of Larry's personality. Kind of mean. He would beat people down, they would start out at 2,500 and he would beat them down till they were 22 or something like that. But once you get a handle on someone's style, and if you're the stronger player, you can identify their weaknesses, you can literally increase your score. And the other thing is once one player starts to lose a lot of games in a match, their confidence is broken. You can just break them psychologically. So there's a big element to that stuff. Once you start to lose a lot of games, it's hard. It's really, really hard. Okay, this is a strange position for me. Yeah, bishop e6. Should have thought of this already. Any kind of fianchetto queen pawn opening, it always seems like that pawn is a soft point in white's position. A weak point. Unfortunately, Haggard DK, he's still not that bad here. The snake Benoni. I don't even know if this is a great move, but I've got to do something. It can't be a bad move. Welcome to the Dyslexic Chess Club, Arsenal. I'm the founding member, and this is a tricky check. Chicky track. Oh, it's not check. The other thing when you're a member of the Dyslexic Chess Players Club, you automatically think things are check when they're not check. No, that's not h5, it's a5. It doesn't matter, man. We're too good for that. We don't need the algebraic notation on the board. Who cares? I told you guys about the guy who beat me in the pub in Romania who like didn't know how to set up the pieces right. That was ridiculous. So Haggard DK here with rook c1, he's not compromising. He's not going to play bishop d2. Where am I going? Yeah, the issue now would be like a3. Strange. I feel like I'm wasting massive amounts of time. Stopping a3, is it really, is there enough time for this? I'm telling you, man, you're too good for the too good for the algebraic notation. You don't need that, man. We're beyond that. Bishop b4. And the a5, a4 would be my next plan. So there is a logic to this. I don't know what he's thinking about, honestly, though. I mean, you just don't have too many options here. Knight f3, knight e4, I guess, is really scary looking. Fortunately, now he still has bishop d2. He could even take with the king. It's a good thing there's no rook on d1 right about now. You know when you drop mate on d8 like that? I actually saw a USCF 2400 player drop a mate like that once. In a long game. It was like game 60. In the opening, on like move 5. And later I asked him about it. He said he like got up from the board and he was walking around and talking after he made the move or something. It was something weird. He literally like blundered mate in 1, walked around to the other side of the board and didn't realize it. He said, "Oh, I saw my opponent making this long move with his rook," you know, and I was like, "What?" You got to be seriously distracted to be a master and drop a mate like that. I'm a little bit concerned about knight b1 now. But I don't want to really give up my bishop. I was just focusing on the e4 square here. Seems reasonable. There's also the knight b1, the other knight to b1. I don't know about rook d8. I have no idea where my pieces belong here. One thing I don't want to do is just trade all the pieces wholesale. One rook maybe, but I'm not trading both. Very well. All right. Yeah, I'll trade you one rook. Will not trade both. We do have some issues. I do have some issues with all the things getting traded, huh? There's also knight d5 check. Dude, seriously, that works. Like, king e7, knight d5 check. Pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. Freaking works. Unbelievable. That's a tactic that I just know about by theme, having played this opening quite a bit in Blitz. No. No, advanced concepts. No. We're not trading rooks. Wow, f4. Very aggressive. I don't really like white's position. But e4 made it a lot worse. Oh. Basically trying to block everything. I was just testing you. I can't play b5, allow d5. Tiger DK really bringing it with the 1444 today. We're better on both sides in this position. So we'll try the break. Wow. Dude is seriously playing, but this is a crazy move. King e4. Bishop g2 there I thought was pretty good. I think he's just falling apart now. Doesn't work. All right. Well, I mean, JCS said he was fine on position, but I wasn't really 100% agreeing. You know, I thought like he's worse here. When I played Rook H8, I think I definitely. Okay, I thought E4 was like a terrible, terrible move. F4 was okay, but at this point, I moved 23. I firmly believe Black is slightly better. The engine is claiming not. It's claiming it's equal after F takes E, knight E4. Now it's giving me a little advantage. Will you play me after this one? I'm just doing the open challenges today. Yeah. And we'll get back to that. Sorry, man. We gotta just take all the challenges we got. 2 more games here, it looks like. Fridays is just challenges, whoever challenges first. Rook takes d1, and I thought f5 was strong. You mean like exchanging the second rook? Is that what you're talking about? Arsenal? Because I think if I exchange 2 rooks, I'm really going to struggle to be able to play for a win. Not that it's impossible or anything, just keep the knight off of e4. Yeah, it's definitely a concept. I don't know the O'Kelly really, but this looks good. Yeah, the queen side is at my mercy with the bishops. Agreed. But we're gonna have to get the king. We're gonna have to get the king in those weak squares on the queen side. My king's got to invade. So d5, we have achieved the ultimate goal of the Sicilian defense, to play d5. Asterbate, where are you? Asterbate, what's the most important square in the Sicilian? What did we say? Okay, this looks like a mouse slip. No! Even in a rated game, I would give a mouse slip for that. I'd give it take back, man. I mean, that's just... Wow. Okay. We have to think here. There's all sorts of possibilities, but I feel like I have to play d4 to chase his knight away. I mean, you don't have to do anything but pay taxes and die. That's what my dad said. He wasn't the originator of that sentiment, though. But I think in certain countries, requirement A doesn't even exist. Here in Hungary, for example. They don't understand when you say that. People look at you weird. You're like, hey, you don't have to do anything but pay taxes and die. You know, people from Eastern Europe are like, what? Well, I don't get it. Alright. We're just going to develop. Somebody called for bishop e4. Certainly bishop e4 is fine. It is fine. It's a move. That's why chess is hard. There's so many good choices. Oh, this is going to be a fun game. I'm going to get mated. I just saw an awesome variation. There. So I was actually calculating this messed up line. C3. I guess in that instance I have D3. Ugh. That looks like it could be a serious problem for white. Anyway, that's a short story for what I was going to tell you guys. I shortened it. I was calculating actually this funny line. C3, knight takes e4, queen takes e4, bishop takes f5, queen takes f5, queen takes b2, and then bishop c4. With scary threats against f7. I don't have any checks. b3, not as good a move, of course. But at the same time, I mean, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do now. I can always take his bishop. Bishop takes f5. I always take his knight on f5. His bishop, whatever it is. d3. It's very hard to do anything. It's starting to make me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. Am I gonna just leave the knight on f5 serially? No. Come on, I gotta develop. Alright. This is weird, man. I don't know what to do here. You never want to play b3 in a situation like that if you have another choice. Definitely. I mean, it's always like the last resort. Now knight c4 is beginning to become a problem. Just preempting knight c4. I'm playing really, really solidly here. But I guess we have a massive threat now of knight b4. Sneaky threat. Okay guys, one more game after this. I'm gonna have to go. Sorry if I didn't get to your games. Especially the rated ones. Trying to take my rating points. I'm already like pathetic. My blitz rating is embarrassing. I lost to some guy the other day. He stripped me of like 50 points. Maybe it wasn't that many. I guess it wasn't that many. But the guy really played well. It was like 20. It was like a new 2100. Just absolutely caught me in a trap in the opening. So what time is the simul this weekend? We're doing 6:30 for the afternoon, evening streams. I like this. Dun dun dun. We were trying to do this before, but the trapped bishop and knight, trap piece is the theme of the day today. Feeling a little stuffy in there. I could have played knight before. Here I am talking about it, then I don't do it. It's kind of consistent, huh? Man, that's embarrassing. Like h6, bishop h4, g6. Awkward moments. But it's sort of stupid. I mean, he's going to have this perennial variation. Knight on f5. I'm not winning a piece anyway. Okay, let's just bail. Variation B. I was going to trap your knight, but I decided I'm not going to do that. I have more important things to do. He still has a defense, I guess. Knight c4. b5. I should be winning somehow, but I still don't see it. Yes. It's just ridiculous. Alright, this is good for me. I think. Now I've got to watch out for knight g7. Go with the flow. But knight g7 is a serious problem. It's completely uncool. Darn it. This stupid move. We'll have some sort of positional advantage. After like knight g7, king e7, knight takes e6, f takes e6, bishop g3. But I still didn't see a forced win anywhere. This way he saves me from taking on this. 1600, man. The guy calculates really well. Wow, dude. I mean, this is a great game by White. If you really consider how crazy he played this, essentially. Completely cut off from the other side of the board. The ambulances. I'm going to get in the ambulance business here in Budapest. Rook A3. Very smart not to lose a tempo there. Dude's seriously going to mess me up with H4 at any moment on the other side of the board. Just rip me to shreds. He's ahead on time. We have to play for mate, basically. If I don't play for mate, I'm done first on the H file. Nice job. Look at that move. Defends everything. All hell's breaking loose here. I have less time. My God, dude. $1,600, he's like crushing me on time. What is going on, man? Basically played like kind of a genius in this game. Two geniuses do battle. Good game, man. Nice try, just a little too slow. Okay, last game for today. Tripled pawns. I'm gonna play E4. I've been playing too many, thanks for the panda emotes. I've been playing too many, the dabbing panda, that's awesome. Too many knight f3 G3 games. I'll just play a delayed G3. Just to be totally lame. Anatoly Karpov. We had this before with Pichu, I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe. I don't know, maybe I played the Pirts with him. Knight BD7. Okay, this is kind of like a classical setup for black. We started off with a loss to Soltigo, but we've recovered today. Yesterday, or Wednesday, Pichu sacrificed his queen. One of the nicest games. Anyone's crushed me. The problem with it was that, you know, I knew that he could sack his queen, and I knew that he had interesting play, but normally I have the sense that, okay, if one player sacrifices against me, it gets the initiative. I was thinking about this. This is interesting, you know. In this context, if a player sacrifices their queen against you, see, the problem is, like, even if you know, like, he has the initiative, I need to give material back, It's like if it's an exchange sacrifice or a piece sacrifice, you can like give, or a pawn sacrifice, you give the pawn back, give the exchange back, whatever. But when the other guy sacrifices their queen against you, it's really hard to give the material back. You know, this is what I was talking about with one of my students yesterday. There was no way to give back the material to like reduce the guy's initiative, and then it's like basically either you play perfect moves and survive or you don't. Okay, queen e7. I guess rook e1 makes sense. Bishop e3 makes sense. So what's the point here? I mean, black's going to take on d4 and have pressure on the f3 pawn. Excuse me, the e4 pawn. It seems weird to play rook e1 though. I don't know, guys. Probably my last game for today. I think I might have made 2,000 if in my day I had the computer auto check. Today I answered a King's Indian question, I recall. What? In Chess College. Speaking of the King's Indian, I mean, if this was a King's Indian, I would normally take back with the knight. But it's interesting to take back here the other way. It just looks too dangerous to take this pawn. I just realized that he's beaten me three and a half of my last 5 games. Okay, one of them was a simul game, which I'm at a disadvantage for, but still, this is pretty impressive. He took the pawn. Wow, dude. Bishop takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes g7. No, bishop takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes g7. King takes g7. Queen d4 check, knight f6, knight f4. Queen d8. Knight d5. I think that wins by force. Just insanely dangerous to do that. Wow. He has some kind of computer-like defense, I guess. Black may have had c5 last move. Maybe he still has tricks. I don't know. Interference. There was another line. He could have played bishop e6 last move. And then after rook takes e6. No, I guess he couldn't. I'm crazy. Never mind. Never mind. Bishop e6, not a move. Guys, I've got to go after this. We're going to be doing a simul on Sunday at 6:30 EDT. Rook e6, queen takes check. But I guess I have knight takes f6 there, so he sacked his queen. Shades of our of our last game. Yeah, I'm just boring positional player. This was the only way though. I could see. It's a bad idea. He had to play g5 there. I mean, I don't know if he can survive any much longer. Maybe the whole thing is just bad for black. It was really, really dangerous to take the pawn on e4. But I'm curious to see if this is sound. Let's see. Now this Swedish IM Lindbergh is decent. There's an actual game. Knight c5. So I mean you could play f3, it's pretty lame for white. Apparently knight d5 is a move. Lindbergh played knight f4 here. Wow, the engine's actually interested in that too. But this is the move that won. But this is just a crazy attempt to take this pawn on e4 here. So apparently I'm sort of missing the best continuation. Knight takes e4 and then takes. So a much cleaner way to do this. Queen d4 check. Possible here as well. But apparently this is the more accurate move order. Now I'm just going to win a piece with f3. So this was better than what I did. It was just too risky for black. Let's see what happens. So bishop takes, takes, takes. See if the way I did it was correct or not. Apparently knight d5 is better. I played like the third best continuation. My concern here was that black has c5, Pichu. You know, and you didn't really see the necessity to do this, but this is actually a legit defense. That's what I was afraid of. Now I would have been scrambling. And okay, maybe I'm slightly better in some ending or something with the rook on the 7. You know, I figured I might go into something like this and just try to grind you down in a slightly better ending. But I mean, there's danger of dropping my h3 pawn. I don't know that I have enough here. So, yeah. Queen d8, I guess. We're winning now. If you don't see rook e7, I mean, does White have another way? No, this is the only move that wins. G4 manages to maintain equality or something like that. Okay, guys, good game to end on. Yeah, c5 is your only move. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Sorry, Sunday, 6:30 EDT with a simul here. Time control yet to be determined, either 30-30 or 40-40. Maybe the 30-30. If I want to do the longer time controls, I'll probably have to start earlier, like 6 o'clock. We'll think about that for the future. I'll see you guys at 6:30 EDT for the simul on Sunday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for donating, Nils. And thanks, Soltigo, for being here and for beating me down in the first game. At least we got to finish with a good game. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Later, guys. Good move. Bye-bye.